Hello and welcome to another episode of the Just Go Watch podcast. This week we are reviewing Birds of Prey-ish, The Crow.
There's no one absolute dog shit.
I don't need
absolute
I don't
fucking dog shit.
I do not need to see it to know it's dog shit.
Oh, he fucked it. He fucked it.
Oh,
He had one job.
I should
He had one job.
I should have that out, shouldn't I? That sounds like work.
For a moment, it was like, it's all glorious.
It was so
My
beautiful.
the best thing was I cut MP off at the start.
Yeah.
Well, I'm used to that at this point.
Yeah. To be fair, actually, it's very in keeping with our podcast that the intro video, new to the pod, well done, Deej, well done. That it actually cuts people off because that is our shtick.
Yeah, and also interesting that someone says it cut me off and I couldn't get in, and then you have the killer in the intro recognizing our past who constantly couldn't get in.
Dear. Oh, that's right. So this week we are doing the Crow remake, the cult classic from God knows when, I don't know.
1994.
1994. Yeah, long time. I've not seen it.
Really?
I don't
What?
have anything to base this on. No.
God.
Wait. Stop.
How about you be on a movie?
You want me to
review
pause it?
podcast?
I wanted
you-
to. I knew you'd both seen it, so I wanted to see it as like a. I could be the.
No. There's nothing you can say that's going to make what you just said
Exactly.
acceptable to me. You haven't seen The Crow.
Well, I
That's
have.
a scrape.
I saw it yesterday.
Nah, fuck you, boy. Fuck you. You really are. You really are a terrible,
Useless.
terrible human being.
Useless.
Yeah. Like you don't
Oh my
deserve
God.
anything good to happen to you in life. In my
I
opinion,
might watch it now. Not
you
right
have
You
to watch
might.
it now.
Well, yeah, I
It's
will.
it is one of the greatest films ever made. Well, I
Alright,
mean,
let's stop recording
gone
and I'll go watch it, shall I?
Would you?
that
Could you?
is outrageous that you said that. I really can't believe
I'm
you said that.
shocked. I'm shocked.
No, I'm only joking. I have seen it.
No, you haven't. You're lying.
Oh, jeez. Here we
You're
go.
lying.
Here we
You're
go.
lying.
On
What?
my honor as a podcaster, I've seen it.
You have seen it.
On your honor as a podcast does not hold a lot of weight.
MP knows the truth of it.
You have seen it or not? I don't know anymore. I don't know if to.
Smoke and mirrors. That's how I like it. Anyway,
Yeah.
listen, it's MP, do your thing.
You want the mumbo jumbo at this point?
Yeah,
What a nice
do it.
segue.
I was
Oh,
trying to
it's
work
so
out when to
beautiful.
do the next clip. This is all new.
I can't
Oh,
believe
I've
we
got
let
to
you
do
host the
stuff.
show. What are we
I've got to
thinking?
do stuff.
Dean?
I've got to click buttons and stuff.
Well, if you are still listening to us, if you could, whatever you're listening to us on or watching us on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. We're also doing shorts and all kind of new experiments with behind the scenes stuff. If you're on the podcasting side, please, whatever you're listening to the podcast on, rate, review, subscribe. Get in touch with us on our social media on Twitter and Instagram at Just Go Watch Pod. If you are, again, on the podcasting side, if you go and leave us a review, a 5-star review, take a screenshot, DM us, and we will send you out some free merchandise. I send out a few more envelopes this week, boys.
Love it.
Ooh.
And just in case you need a visual
Imagine those
medium
people.
of that.
Look at that. Oh, beautiful.
Apologies to anyone listening. That was basically just a clip that says subscribe. So if you're listening, also subscribe.
Man, this is off to an amazing start. A
Just-
flying start.
Just to be clear, any listeners who hit us on Spotify or whatever, I wanted Hatch to edit those bits out so that you didn't have to suffer through them. But he's such a lazy slob that he can't be bothered to do the 15 seconds of editing it would take to do that. So you have to sit there through the audio version of a graphic that's shown on the screen. So
I wouldn't
apologize.
want to take away anything from you, not unless someone says something they shouldn't. or someone's dog starts barking. That's the only time we actually really start editing. Otherwise it's the unscripted, all there raw that you all love. That's right. What you want. I would never want to take that away from you.
You tried to take away everything from us today by telling us things we can't talk about because you're worried that YouTube will ban us.
Listen, I see one video. We've been here a month already. I'm already worried that we're going to be cancelled and sent out. Anyway, should we talk about this
even though we're on it?
No, there's no way. There's no way. Although someone did like a comment I put on another review earlier on. So there you go, traction gained. The Crow by Robert Sands with a runtime of 111 minutes. What do you reckon the budget was? I might edit out these sort of like gaps. So as in like I'll come at you with the budget, and knowing that we do the budget every fucking week, maybe you guys have actually had a thought about it. So we're not just sat there with these pregnant pauses for 15 seconds every single week. But we'll see. Raw. That's what we want.
You will never edit those out.
Of course I won't. But I'm just filling time. I'm filling time while you dickheads.
I reckon the budget on this. Similar to what was last week, so I reckon about 50 million. 50 million.
Okay.
I'll go 40 million.
Or on the money, Deej. 50 million.
On the money! And you shall know him, for he shall be completely accurate.
So
with his crow predictions.
So says the Book of MP. What do you think?
End of the lesson.
What are the so we're recording this before we get all the info on the weekend, but what do you think it's projected?
Oh God.
It's opening weekend.
Opening weekend, I reckon.
In fact, bonus point if you can tell me what it was initially projected and then what it was changed
up or down?
To. Whoa,
up
that's
or down?
For you. That's for you to.
I reckon 30 million projected, and then they thought, nah, actually, no one's going to see this, and they downgraded it to 25.
Okay, MP.
I'll go original projection 20 million, and then they downgraded to 10 million.
Both of you are well off. But MP is slightly closer. This was projected to make a paltry 6 to 9 million. 6 to 9.
Wow.
69. It was lowered after the initial Thursday night to 4.5 to 5.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you, based on the information I have, which is that it's at 2 million, it's going to do well to hit that 4.5.
Oh wow! Is that just America?
I believe so. Yeah.
Well, that's the most important market in the world.
Yeah. So some deluded people say. I'm all about it's all about our Chinese overlords. They know.
Wow. So people really just not excited about this at
all. No, sir. All right, so
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I can't wait. Yeah. So the plot of this one, we're going to get through this quick, fast, and now hurry. Eric,
why are you doing the plot? Why are you doing the plot?
I'm just going back to business as usual.
Why are you doing the plot, bro? Why are you doing the plot after last week when I give
Listen,
it back
we're alternating.
You fluffed it so bad. Let your boy come in and take care of this for you. Let me take this pressure off your shoulders and let me do you a favor, do the listeners a favor.
There's no pressure on these shoulders. They're naturally
in a way. It's like you've got a gravitational pull in your chest. That's really, let me take you through this as only the Deej can, in a way that summarizes it so succinctly, so perfectly that you almost feel like you
do it like a line each. So our main character, Eric. No, you.
That is risky business. That is risky business. You'll have me like I'll be summarizing 20 minutes of the plot in one sentence, and then you'll do like a further 30 seconds.
I'll go back to cover the bits you've missed.
No, look, I
Alright,
just think at this point we just have to just go with the flow and just accept that I am the plot man when it comes to the plot.
well,
With nothing prepared, and I've only just remembered that I should be doing it as you started doing it, and I had nightmares of what
And the Muad'Dij shall light the way in
Oh,
the
God.
plot
Here we go.
synopsis.
all
It's
right, we'll
coming.
get on with it then. I'm already bored. This is counting into your time, and you're up to 3 minutes at
All
the
right.
moment.
All right. The plot is the same as the first. Eric Draven and Shelley, who knows what her name is, are both in, I think, what is a voluntary mental institution of some kind. Our bad guy, who is the guy from 40 Days and Nights, if you've never seen it and only ever seems to play bad guys, has made a deal with the devil. Was it 30 Days and Nights? Whatever it's called. Good film. Has made a deal with the devil to live forever as long as he delivers innocent souls. Eric and Shelley escape the mental institution because bad people are coming to get Shelley. We don't really know why. And once they're out, they begin this little love affair, and it's really, really beautiful things to see. Unfortunately, they finally catch up with Shelley. Shelley and Eric are killed, but Eric is returned to the land of the living by someone we don't know from purgatory and given the powers of the crow where he can't be hurt. He goes on a vengeful rampage. Somewhere along the way, making a deal with the guy in the purgatory that, look, man, if you do it, you go back, you're going to be the guy that comes in purgatory and you can never be with Shelley again. He then goes on the vicious rampage, kills everyone he needs to kill, saves Shelley from the underworld, but in doing so, he must leave his love and remain in purgatory while she goes back to the land of the living. And that, my friends, is that. Praise the Muad'Dij. He will do it.
I was about to start, pressing thing, because there's summarizing a plot and then there's whistle through it with barely a word. How rude is that? How rude is that? How rude is that? I actually, I was so tempted to play the subscribe video whilst you were midway to it, and I did it in the background. I did it in the background without any kind of sound. Such is my integrity.
Do it? Yeah, you're a man of integrity.
I did. There you go.
Yeah?
There you go.
You're a man of integrity. I'm not.
I'm
not. And that's why we work well together.
Let's just hope our viewers do realise, because I did tell you to subscribe.
Let's listen to the energy in that plot though, and the succinctness of it. Like I can just picture people just being like, "Oh my god!" And what happens next? I need to go see this film.
They're on the edge.
So there's plenty of energy in the crackhead as he asks, "I've got any spare change so we can get a bed for the night?" But I don't mean I fucking listen to him, do I?
That's what horrendous thing.
I know it.
I only brought up crackheads because of this movie and what it reminded me of.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, I know. Last week he said he wanted me to die, and now he's calling me a crackhead.
To be fair,
yes.
Yeah.
To be fair. Yeah.
I think it's accurate.
What were you saying about pregnant pauses?
I thought that was it. I thought that was implicit.
Well, cheers, boy. Well, should we do this film?
Yeah. Well, look. Why? I mean, you're in the middle of taking over everything. Why don't you just go first and just talk until the rest of the hour's up? Yeah. What was your rating? What was your review? And what was your rating?
That was bitter. That was bitter. Man, just enjoy these pods because next year when it's just me and MP and the new host, we'll.
I don't know. After our Ricky Stenicki numbers, and do we even need another host?
I know. Hatch is going to sit in there with that fucking face. You know that meme of that guy who's like got a smiley face, but like what behind it is the crying face.
What?
Mem. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's grammatically correct to say meme. I don't think he's right. But anyway, let's not get into that. What do I think about this film? Let me tell you what I thought about this film. As someone that's seen the original, unlike Hatch, who's lying because he's a fiend, probably never seen it in his life. Yeah, The Crow. Very excited to see this film. Saw the trailer and thought, I don't know about this. Which I think maybe a lot of people did, and perhaps that's why the numbers were terrible. Judging from the cinema I was in, I had me and two other people in there. It never really recovered from that. But onto the film itself, it surpassed my expectations. Let me start there. It surpassed my expectations, right? My expectations were not high, admittedly, but it did surpass my expectations. Now, this film is entirely shallow on any kind of detail about how anything is really happening and why it's happening, and throws up more questions than it does answers as to the kind of like the wider plot. But if I kind of just forget about that and just think about the bits I like in the original Crow of him just going around and being immortal and whatnot, I'm like, yeah, the Bill Skarsgård. I can already feel MP not liking Bill Skarsgård. I can feel it in my bones that MP did not like Bill Skarsgård. But I quite liked him. I thought he was good. I believed his relationship with Shelley. It was I quite like the fact that he didn't just come back and he was immortal and was just like, oh hey, I'm immortal. I know exactly what I'm doing now. And was some expert kind of fighter. Like he kind of got tooled up a few times and he kind of progressed into his immortality, which I thought was cool. The main guy, just I don't know, what a rubbish villain. Pretty much, I kind of felt like I didn't really understand where he's coming from or what he was doing, other than he was obviously a morally hideous person. There's a lot of morally hideous people in this that don't really seem to have any kind of. There's no grey area. There's no like regret in them. There's no nothing. But yeah, the bits I did enjoy. I enjoyed the violence. I enjoyed him and his journey. So. And I thought visually it was a beautiful looking film. The music was great, so I enjoyed it. Was it as good as the original? Obviously not. It kind of I think suffers from the fact that whereas the original just lets it happen and just says, it's just simple. It's like he died and he's been sent back because he was tortured in his life and he needs to set it right. This almost tries to explain it and then doesn't explain it and just leaves it so like it's kind of like a bunch of gibberish. Like some fucking Middle Eastern bloke is just kind of like consistently sending him back in slow motion pushes, and I'm like, what the fuck is actually going on? It kind of makes me want to know, like, what? Okay, well, how's the devil involved in this, and what's his actual powers? This other guy, and blah blah blah. But yeah, if I ignore all of the faults of the film, which there are many, still did enjoy it. It suffers from being like there is a lot of dog shit in this, but the bits I enjoyed. So I'm gonna give it a 6.
Oh my god,
A 6. A 6. Point 25. A 6.25.
A
Oh
6.25 for a
God.
film
Oh
that
my
you
God.
supposedly enjoyed.
No, because there was a lot wrong with it. Like I will spend more of this film tearing it apart, I think. But
Well, that's the Deej way, isn't it?
but I get because it's easier to pick on the negatives. But there were like the bits I enjoyed that kind of were the problem with this film isn't so much what I'm seeing, it's what I'm not seeing. And this is a film where you kind of felt like this needed to be 4 hours because they haven't really
Jesus,
thought about it. No. Well, I don't understand. I want it to be 4 hours, but I'm saying like because they haven't. It's almost like they tried to do too much. They overcomplicated it, so they needed more time, but realized, we can't have more time because it's just gonna devolve into tons and tons of explanation and blah blah blah. So they just kind of fucked up the structure of it. But so it's the bits that are not seen and not explained that I think are shit about it. But like the bits I saw on screen, I quite liked. So yeah, that's where I am with it.
Okay. MP.
Okay. Well, before I get into this, if there are any movie studios listening, go back and listen to our Deadpool, Wolverine, Alien, Romulus, and now this. You can understand that we will shill for you because Deej, I don't know what the hell you were talking about with this movie. Are they pay? They have to be paying you, sir. They have to. Could you cut us in a little bit on that, please? I need a little bit, just a little. God, I don't even know where to start with this movie. All right, let's go with the original since as like me and Deej, we're professionals at this. We actually did watch the original. I actually watched it earlier this week, and I forgot really how good it is. It does suffer a little bit, from being made on 90s, but it has a style, and you have a charismatic lead with Brandon Lee, and the movie takes like 15 minutes to give you everything you need before it's going into what the movie is. Whereas this thing, oh Jesus God, I was an hour into this movie and I'm doing the Jurassic Park thing with Jeff Goldblum. You are gonna have a crow in your crow movie. There's no anything in this movie. It's soulless. Oh my God, I'm sitting in this movie theater and there's nothing to latch onto. It's heartless. It's pointless. It's just dragging on. It takes at least an hour and 15 minutes before you even get to the movie. You have all of this love thing that they're building up too much because you didn't need it. In the original, they had a few flashbacks. You got it. They were getting married the next day. Everybody can relate to what they were going through. This, I've got unlikable characters. And you're right, Bill Skarsgard in this one. I like Bill Skarsgard. Everything I see him in, he usually brings something. This, he brought nothing to it. It was like he was just reading. Someone was standing in front of him with a cue card, and he's reading, "I love you because you are damaged." And whoever this girl is that was playing his love interest, Shelley. Oh my God, please never put her in a movie again because she was horrible. The villain, you're right. The villain was, I don't even know what his motivations. Why didn't they never explain anything? At first, I was kind of interested because he made like these little allusions to his past. Like, I've been around a long time, and you kind of get the feeling that he's almost, I don't want to say like a vampire, but he has to do this thing for the devil and whisper into these people's ears, and he's lived forever and so I thought, okay, this could be interesting. They never explain it. They don't do anything with it. At the end, I'm telling you, I saw this movie 2 days ago. I cannot remember the final battle between the crow and the villain because at this point I've checked out. There was a section of this movie at the opera where they have the big violent scene that I liked. And I don't know if I liked it just because some fucking thing was happening on the screen. And I was just glad as a moviegoer that I could actually see something going on, or if it was really that well done. It's got no style and no substance. It feels like a movie that they just made in order to keep the rights to The Crow. Oh my God. I saw this after work and I'm falling asleep halfway through it. There's a reason why it's not making any money. It is terrible. I will ask you though, I'm an uncultured American. I've never been to the opera per se, but if someone lobs a severed head into the audience, you get to keep that as a souvenir and take it home. I'm not sure really how that works in the opera. It's like a foul ball at a baseball game. But overall, I did not enjoy this. It lives up to the bad reviews. I'm tempted to give this a 1 because there is no redeeming anything on the screen. There's nothing. It's not even like
Come on.
I'm telling you, there are 3 movies that pop into my head right now that are like the worst that I saw this year. Madam Web, Trap, and this. And Madam Web and Trap, at least there was something to get me emotionally. I laughed all the way through Madam Web, and Trap, you know how I felt about that. At least there was some kind of emotion. This, I had nothing. I felt like I've wasted my life. I'm telling you, I'm going to be on my deathbed thinking all the hours I could have put into learning a musical instrument or crafting the great American novel or something. Instead, I was watching this shit. So as tempted as I am to give it a 1, I'll give it a 2 to be nice.
A 2. Oh my God.
A 2. There's
outrageous.
This is garbage. I would have rather stared at the blank screen for 2 hours than watch this movie.
Well, as ever, Deej is far too kind to a movie, and MP is
I hate movies.
Yeah, you just would rather not be watching film. So it comes down to your host to settle things. I mentioned crackheads earlier on, and I mention them here again because the main problem with this film for me is that I do not care about the main character, who is a crackhead who's in and out of prison. And I do not care about the lead female, his love interest, who is a crackhead in and out of prison, even if it was of her own accord. She's clearly familiar with the whole thing. Your villain is absolute shit. What does he do? Again, as MP, you said, quite an interesting kind of take initially, like, oh, he sends people, like he obviously whispers, they do that. How does that power work? Don't really know. And he gets them to commit crimes so that they go to hell. Does that not mean he would also eventually go there? I don't know, maybe not, but he at least can live a bit longer. Quite an interesting premise. Do we get that explained? Do we go anywhere with it? No. How does he make his money? Don't know. So everything is just underdeveloped. And I think you could summarize it in that opening scene with the horse where you're like, well, okay. Oh, I wonder how this is going to play into it later on. It won't. It doesn't at all. What's the fucking point of it? 111 minutes and 5 to 10 of it was spent on a scene that has no bearing later on other than to say he's lost things before. Like there's some vague implication that he burns his mother to a crisp in their motorhome. Like, I don't fucking know. The film doesn't fucking know. Yeah, Bill Skarsgård, I really like him normally, but he just adds nothing to it. She's fucking awful. I don't care about the two of you. I don't care about the villain. I don't root for anyone. This is just a fucking non-entity film. And even the violence scene, I didn't care. He's immortal. He's like had his second wind and now he can't die. Apparently he feels the pain, but you don't really see that because he's just walking as he's tanking bullet after bullet. Like, this isn't an interesting way of showing someone who's immortal. Blade did it a lot better. There's so many other movies where our hero is impervious to bullets or whatever, and they still at least make you feel something. This, I just get nothing. And then who's he killing? Random fucking vague henchmen who've actually probably not even done anything apart from take a naughty bit of money. So tell me one scene in this film that is actually worth watching. Apart from just saying, Deej, oh, I like the ambience and the atmosphere. Like, I just fucking nothing. It's pretty shit. I can understand why it is being taken pretty shit. Don't watch this. Go watch the original instead. Far better film. So I'm lingering between a 3.5 and a 4. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go for a 3.75 and see which of you, if any, can have an effect.
3.75.
It's fucking woeful.
Defend yourself, Muad'Dij. Defend yourself.
Oh, these guys just hate movies. These guys just hate movies.
Was this even a movie? Was it technically? I don't know. I don't know.
Your rating is a disgrace. Your rating.
My rating is dead on. And
listen,
everybody out there listening will know it. If you watch this movie,
there is no
which will be on streaming by the time we end this fucking podcast, it'll be on some streaming service. You can watch it. You'll be like, damn, MP. He nailed this.
No way, on earth that anyone that's ever lived could say that this film is not better than Madam Web. There's just no way.
No, you know what? I laughed all the way through out of Madam Web. It might not have wanted me to laugh at the movie, but at least I did something. I just sat there like, again, I could have been staring at the wall for 2 hours and would have had the same exact effect on me. There's just nothing, having there's no one style, scene. There's no substance, there's nothing in this movie.
No, that one scene in the opera house would be enough to get it more than a 2. Just if there was nothing else in the film, it was just that. Like,
so you think that scene was good?
Yeah, I love that scene.
You love that
something
scene.
Was happening.
Are you fucking serious?
What a dude who an immortal dude getting like fucking shot to fuck like while having like a really, really violent encounter and like fucking killing people in like decent ways. Of course, what's not to like? What's not to like? It's like John Wick walking up.
There are zero
stakes.
There are zero stakes. I'm watching it like, okay.
It's the end of the film.
Yeah.
It's the end of the film, man.
Like,
it's
not the end of the film. That's not the end of the film. There's still
more or less
like 20, 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, a whole other final boss battle.
End of the film.
Look.
That is, sorry. They are your 2 main action set pieces, right? All I remember from it is him slowly walking up a staircase, stabbing a guy. Oh, yeah, great. The only redeeming bit is when he gets stabbed and then he grabs another guy and stabs him in the eye.
Yeah,
That's like the only good bit. Apart from that, it was just like, yeah, okay, walk up to him, stab. It'd be like playing a video game, right? Where everyone, you want to play a video game and no one likes dying. You know, if you play these difficult video games where you die and you get sent straight back, then like you're like, for fuck's sake. But if you just played a game where like there was no like chance of you dying, that's pointless. That's what a child would play, not like someone who actually wants a challenge. You want a challenge, and I want to see a challenge. I want to see my main hero, supposedly my main hero, actually come up against adversity. The biggest bit of adversity he comes up is, I don't know if I love this girl or not. That's the only fucking trouble he has.
He only knew her for like 4 days. So.
That is it. Oh my god, she killed someone. I don't know if I love her, but don't you love her? Oh, maybe I do. I'll give her soul for mine. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you your power back. That's it.
God.
That's it.
Oh god. Right, listen. One of the best scenes in the first Crow film, right? So when he goes into that room when they're having that meeting, right, and he literally just stands up on that table, and gets absolutely drilled by about 1,000 bullets, and then comes up underneath the table and takes them all out with consummate ease. Right? That is one of the best scenes in the Crow, and there is absolutely no difference in what happens to Brandon Lee in that scene to what happens to this guy. No, there's not. I'm not saying,
because at the start of the movie, when he first comes out as the Crow, he gets in the fight with the knife guy, and the knife guy really does kick his ass until he starts getting a little better.
As the cop kicks his ass.
By the time he gets to the end where he has figured out his powers and now he can fight, that's where he's at that point.
You didn't watch this film. I'm telling you guys. No. You did not watch this film. Listen to what you've just said. Listen to what you've just said. In the beginning, Brandon Lee comes up against that guy who kicks his ass. Yeah. Similar to the exact same way that this Bill Skarsgard comes up against that police officer who kicks his ass, and he just about manages to kill him. Right? Then he comes up against the shotgun people who fucking kick his ass, and it's only after that when he comes back that like he is kind of like he reinvigorated. And then by the time,
calm down, Deej, calm down. You're right. Right. I've just forgotten everything about this movie.
This film, there's no difference in that bit.
There is difference. I liked Brandon Lee, and he had charisma and charm, and I was rooting for him in this movie.
Listen. There's no.
I did like the opera scene. I will.
There's no disputing that Brandon Lee was. That film is an epic, right? What I'm saying is, when you get to like the final, more or less, bit of the film, right, and by this point he's at the height of his powers, and he's walking up steps in an opera scene, in an opera house, and like fucking just taking bullets, and in a really visceral way as well. It wasn't like bullets were like just hitting him, and like there was no movement from his body, so it's like the bullets weren't really existing in real time, like they were impacting him. The knives were impacting him and shit. I was just like, yeah, this is good, but he is immortal. And that is what I expect. I don't want him. What stakes do you want? Him to get shot down the stairs? Be like, oh, it's really difficult to get up these stairs, and he keeps on getting shot and falling back down the stairs. And can he get to the top? Oh, he's shot down again. No, not interested. Shoot! I want it to be like Wolverine. Fucking shoot this guy as he goes on a fucking violent rampage. And the bullets are an inconvenience at best. That's what I want it to be. That's what I got in that scene, and that was good. That's what I want. I don't know what the fuck you wanted from that scene. Well, whatever it was, you're wrong. You're wrong.
What I don't want is generic henchmen all dressed the same. Like, oh, it's his cue to jump in now. Oh, yeah, stab to death. All right,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. At what point do you lean over the edge and there's 15 of your buddies all dead? You just go, you know what? I'm out.
This is an opera. We're in the quiet bits, and then like 2 people have just been absolutely eviscerated, and then 2 more people come in stealthily, like, huh? There's something going on out here. It's honestly, it's like a fucking Metal Gear Solid game where it's like, hey, what was that? Oh, it must have been nothing. As like your mate's like head rolls around the corner. It's just, yeah, okay, right, next 2, you're up now. Oh, right, okay, yeah, cool. We'll go around the corner unsuspecting. Or like, there's, when it was, I think he's killed the first 2 and he's ascending the first bit of staircases, and the 2 guys position themselves around the pillar, and they're all like looking at each other like, oh, yeah, now, yeah, okay, are you ready? Yeah, oh yeah, some sort of military style hand movement to make it look like we're highly trained. And then he's like, oh shit, better cock my pistol while I'm 2 foot away from the guy. He hears it, and he's like, right, now's my chance. You're not springing a fucking trap on him with a fucking bit of wood, like. You've got guns. Why aren't you engaging him early on? What the fuck are you doing? He's the one walking up the stairs with a fucking katana, and you're allowing him to, like, that's what I mean. There's just, you can create
that's fair.
through decent enemies.
That's fair.
But that's a trope.
Yeah, that part's fair.
John Wick does the same thing.
Of course, a trope. But when you've got dog shit rest of the film,
that's where it dies.
Yes, right. Forget the final battle, right? Because this is essentially his, like, I'm here. Do you know what I mean? And the one in the flat where he recovers, like from the bathtub, that was semi good. That was better, at least, where he like comes out of the water and he's like, his shotgun wound is coming apart, and then he rips the shotgun off, and then it's like a next one comes around the corner, bang, reload it, bang, and he's like getting winged as well. That one at least had some interest. So I know at that point he cannot die, and yet the fight itself is intriguing. Ultimately, when I watch Daredevil, right, I know these guys aren't main characters. He's going to win this fight, but it's how he wins the fight. And this is exactly the same here. He ascends a staircase. beats up 4 guys dressed the same, stabs them to death. Okay, cool. Ascends to the next staircase. I mean, I don't know how many floors has this opera house got. It's like 20 floors. By the time he's like ascended to the top, fucking hell, I don't want to be sat up there in the gods. That's what I mean. Like, and this just, it has no kind of thing for me there with it, you know. Even when he like slices that guy's head off, because that also, he cuts his, like, he gives him like a Joker smile. But he doesn't seem to push. He does, but the guy instantly drops dead, and I was like, nah, you'd be in serious pain. But until he gets to your spine or your brain, you're in just a horrendous amount of pain, and I want to see that, and I didn't. So I think the film then almost cuts corners. How, you know, it's an 18 because of the visceral gore, but I didn't even think there was that much.
Plus, it takes an hour and a half to get to anything.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on that. The fucking first hour, and that's what I mentioned. Like this, I do not care about 2 crackheads and their love story. I don't care.
But they knew each other for 3 days.
What happened to world building, boys? What happened to world building?
Oh my God.
I don't mind world building, but
give me someone I can care about, or I'm interested in, or someone with some charisma and charm.
Fucking prison. They make eye contact at the prison, and it's like, why'd you like me? Oh, you just look like a fucked up piece of shit, don't you? That's why I like you. Like, what? Oh, I've come and sat next to you. Why? Oh, you don't really speak much, and it looks like you get bullied here. Like, oh, well, I guess we're.
If you ever die, I will come back and fight for you.
Yeah, we're here from the wrong side of the tracks, and then like, what'd you do? You're on the run. Shit, we've got to get away. Oh my God, we made it out. We're now, what should we do now? I don't know. Should we just smoke up and just get fucking wasted?
Exactly.
What the fuck are you doing? Like, there's no desperation. Are you in danger? You don't seem like it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? She was on the fucking run a day ago. What's changed? You've gone to this place. You know that they're going to know that you live there, or that she's lived there, because that's where she got followed from right at the beginning. So where's if they tried to leave and like want a bus, and then they got thingy, but no, they've somehow met the fucking band of merry men. They're out in the woods, smoking up, fires, dancing around.
Just people.
Who the fuck are they? And then suddenly, Mr. Tattoo Man is the bloke's best man at his wedding, if he lives that long. Like, oh, you don't respect my art, man. I'm trying to tattoo you, and you guys are fucking on my couch. Like, and then, you can speak to me. Blam, you're dead. Who are you? I don't even fucking know your name.
He was just there to give him a gun.
I'll tell you one thing I didn't like was when his tattoo mate got shot in the face, and then 5 minutes later he's just like there sitting next to him, smoking a spliff, and he doesn't seem to give a fuck about it.
Yeah, that was weird.
I thought maybe because he's been brought back, that he's been brought back different, and his kind of, I don't know, he's changed now or something. But I don't know. I didn't really get why he was.
He sits on that couch, and it's almost like a comedy scene, because he gives the other dead body that cigarette, and I'm sitting there thinking, your buddy that you just, I guess, he's right next to you with his head blown off. Yeah, it was weird.
I can, I wasn't really sure about that part, but I mean, this is not a perfect film.
No. That is the understatement of the year, my friend.
Jeez. It's not a perfect film, 100%. But I don't think
this film went above average.
No, this is not a 6.25.
No way.
Come on,
like you've both become sucked into the world of the Rotten Tomato critic, where like if the film doesn't have like the kind of essentials of what makes a really good film,
you can't acting story. You can't
find any joy anymore, boys. You can't find any joy anymore. Like,
I've been nice.
Like you watch a film with a guy. Watching a guy, just chop a bunch of people up in the opera house, and somehow still you're finding all these things wrong with it, and you're just like, yeah, all right, it's not perfect, yeah, fair enough. There's fucking disposable bad guys, but that's a good scene. You know what I mean? It's an enjoyable scene. That still hatches like
5 minutes in a 2 hour.
I hate it. I hate it.
The first hour, nothing happens. The entire first hour. I think what happens in the first hour, like, oh, let's escape. Oh, flips to the bad guy. Kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. That's a good film now. I've been nice the last couple of weeks. I've been, I'm trying to look favorably. Nice. When I see that films try, this film didn't try. Like,
It did not. There was
you've gone to
nothing behind it.
purgatory. When a soul dies, like blah blah blah. Oh, we've chosen you because why? What? Because you saw some girl suffocate that you've known for 2 weeks.
And
Is that the justification? Is that the justification? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a really low bar. You'd have a lot of immortal people running around with the power of crows.
You don't know it was 2 weeks.
They got suffocated. Did y'all notice that when they were suffocated with the plastic bags, that their hands were free and not one of them reached up and tried to poke a hole in the bag?
Nah, the mind does
I didn't
funny
actually
things.
notice that, but
And the purgatory, he goes to that, and it was the most visually bland. It's a train station. There was nothing unique or interesting about it. I'm like, this is what you came up with in your imagination. You went, all right, here's purgatory, empty train station. Yay.
You could have even had like this dilapidated train station with like trains going one way, trains going the other. It's a little bit on the nose, right? But you could have been like, what's your destination? What's your destination going to be? You know, you going north or south? And yet, nah.
Just slap it
What
on.
a waste.
Throw it on the
What a
screen.
waste. I do really like Bill Skarsgård normally as well. Even
God,
when
he
he's
was
been in
just so
films.
bad in this.
Like he was in, was it Barbarian we watched?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I thought he was quite good because he can fit that kind of blend of, he can be quite menacing, and obviously he's a big bloke, but at the same time he can be quite like almost like soft. And I thought, you know, in that film you're like, oh, is he the bad guy? Is he like, do you know what I mean? Like I remember saying about Barbarian, you know, the first 45 was a really good one, a bit like Trap for me. And then it goes a bit downhill. But in this one, I don't know, he's obviously playing, he's clearly been told to play it that way. You know what I mean? I don't think this is him phoning it in. She's awful though.
I don't know.
You're delightfully broken, you are.
What terrible people you are. You know who she is, yeah? She's Shia LaBeouf's ex. Who
that makes sense.
And there was a lot of
so she's not even acting then. She's just being her.
Well, there was a lot of problems.
She clearly is not acting, that's for sure.
There's a lot of controversy because he split with her and then kind of like almost tried to get her cancelled, like using his Hollywood connections. And she came forward and said like he's really abusive and blah blah blah. And what I'm learning from this is that probably you two know Shia LaBeouf, and he's got into your ear and has told you to a character assassinate her on the pod. That's actually what's happened here. It's not that you don't think she was any good in it. It's that you are Shia LaBeouf shills and you're abusive men who hate women. That's what I've learned.
What would be your rating of her? What's your rating of her acting chops in this film? After you've just accused us of that, I want you with a straight face, with a straight emblem, to say that you thought that she does a really good job and she's on par with Bill Skarsgård.
Can you wait a
I'm
second?
sure it's good as Bill Skarsgård, but she wasn't. But I didn't think she was bad. She was like I thought she was.
She was good. So, in your opinion, she was good.
Okay, let me speak, you weasel. I felt like she was a good approximation of kind of a mental unstable woman who's just clinging on for someone to love. I felt like that's what she is, and I felt like she looked like that. So no problem with that.
When does your sort of political campaign kick off?
I'm sorry I missed that. I was texting my friend Shy to let him know that Deej is on to us, Hatch.
Yeah,
Hatch
to his
do we
real
see the same movie? What
called,
version of are there multiple versions of this film out there or something?
No. I mean, I reckon whatever they were smoking and taking drugs in, Deej has got his own sort of supply. That's the only way he's getting hold of these. He's getting hold of these opinions. And also, like, I know of a way to escape this prison. Why have you never done it? Fancy it. Nah. He just knows. Everything just is like, film just happens.
It's not prison, though, is it? It's not prison.
Is it not?
No, it's a voluntary mental institution, isn't it? Something like that.
I don't know. It has fences and barbed wire.
I don't know how voluntary it looked to me. That it looked to me like you know, you're a youngster and you've been committed of a crime, like almost like a youth prison type thing.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely a mental health thing, man. A mental health.
She's there for drugs. She's there for drugs.
Nah, she's been.
He's a druggie. They're druggies.
That's not a jail. That's not a jail, man. I don't think that's a jail.
It's got barbed wire around the fences.
Yeah. So did the thingy mental health place in Terminator 2. You know, that's just
that was a prison. That was a prison.
Yeah.
Nah, she was in a mental
prison, but it was still a prison.
It was still a prison. Yeah.
Mental hospital. Well, I don't know. Listen, I didn't get the feeling it was like a proper prison. Is what I'm saying. Or if it was, some kind of
you've got a lot of wrong feelings about this film as a whole.
What does Wikipedia say it is?
I don't know. I never get any of my an institution for troubled youth. Yeah, they've gone political there. They've gone for the same kind of answer that you'd give. It doesn't actually say either way. It doesn't say either way. As an institution for troubled youth, are they forced to stay there? Do they have to stay there? Institution. Yeah, good save, Wikipedia. You indeed, you keep your secrets. But I mean, I felt terrible for that horse in the beginning, and I thought, I hope that horse is all right, but now it dies and then never plays a part again, apart from in a flashback. The horse that we've never seen is what gives him the power to be dead.
To come back from the dead.
Man, I don't know, man. I just feel like I read one review, right, that said that was like said that Skarsgard and whatever her face is, they had a total absence of chemistry. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see that. I just felt like they were both just like completely.
Who wrote that review? Can we get them on the show, please?
Who I don't know, like gravitated towards each other, and they're just like, it's not necessarily a love based on healthy kind of feelings that like a normal relationship might have, but more just a kind of like two broken people that kind of have found someone they can like exist with or something. And I don't know. I thought that came across
in a youth institution.
I just thought it came across.
I did not buy into it at all. There was no chemistry between the two of them.
I wouldn't necessarily.
They were so
them.
wooden and they were so bad at acting. I was just like, God, what the hell?
I wouldn't have minded them, but I just didn't need it for an entire hour whilst nothing is going on. You know what I mean? Like as they're skipping around a fire, singing fucking nursery rhymes in a drug-fueled fucking thing. Like, aren't you both on the run? Isn't her life in danger? And you're there like, should we smoke up again? Yeah, right.
Nah, she's fine. They're fine. They're happy.
Just it's
a bad movie. It's a bad movie.
It is a bad movie. It's a bad movie.
At the end, when she's back, is she gonna go fight for him now, or is she just gonna move on to the next guy?
I thought she was just gonna go to heaven, and he was just gonna be like, he's like, yeah, you're gonna now be used as purgatory's like tool or something. I wouldn't have minded that.
Oh, so that Middle Eastern guy. He just he's like the guardian of purgatory until he can find someone to take his place. That's the score, is it?
Well, no, that's what I was angling for, but it doesn't look like it does that.
What do you mean? It does look like that because he's then back on Earth and Bill Skarsgård is in the purgatory place.
I thought he's just dead.
No, he's in purgatory, isn't he? He's back in the train station place.
I thought it was like his soul for hers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
He ain't coming back. He ain't coming back.
No, he has to stay in the purgatory. So he's now like the guardian of purgatory, like the Middle Eastern guy was.
I didn't get that he was the guardian in purgatory. I got that he was not coming back.
Maybe you didn't enjoy the
also with that ending, I watched it. With that ending, why are they waking up where they fucking were?
Right. Yeah.
As though it's all a horrible flashback. How has he ended up back there?
I don't know.
Listen. If all of that fucking stuff can be if all of that stuff can be true, then I'm a little bit of fucking time traveling.
At that
point, I just didn't care. I will say that was the most emotional point in the movie for me because I knew it was over and I could leave, and I just had a sense of joy.
The Purgatory Man is now back in the land of the living. How's that work?
He's a paramedic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he has to stay in purgatory until someone takes his place, and then he can come back.
The trade? Was that the trade? Was it?
Yeah, That was the trade. I mean, does it make sense? I don't know.
No,
But
the
that is
trade
what
was
happened.
my soul for hers, not. Oh, by the way, and
Yeah.
you can also hitch a ride.
Yeah, so his soul
Random man whose name we never learn.
No,
He
that
took
was
advantage of
showing
it. He was
enough.
like, "Psych, I get to leave now."
Yeah.
that was the trade, boy. I'm not saying it makes sense, but that was the trade.
No, you're not saying it makes sense. Just like your rating, that makes sense.
It still does not make any sense.
It makes perfect
my
sense.
God.
You're just not you're not looking at it properly.
Oh, I'm glad. I do not want to look at this movie any more than I have to. One sitting was enough.
You're yeah, I don't know, boys. Listen, there's a lot wrong with this film, but there's also some good bits to it. Maybe a 6.25 is too high, but the
maybe.
certainly
So,
a two
okay,
is too low. A 2 is
six-
outrageous.
2 is too high.
If a 6.5, like my reason for my rating, right? If a 5 is average, this for me falls far below average. I've said there's a couple of films recently that I'd say are average or just above, and I freely admitted last week that Alien Romulus is Alien, so I'm automatically like already probably giving it extra marks, right? So I
Shill
gave
got
that
a
the little
shill.
caveat.
Shill
Trap
got the
I said
shill.
was just over. Even I will shill sometimes. It's not just Deej, isn't it? He doesn't get a monopoly on shilling, but this is well below average for me. This is well below average. I struggle to see many defining qualities. Something like this. How do you make a simple revenge flick boring?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Yes.
How do you fucking do that? That is mental. This is, like Man on Fire with Denzel Washington, one of the best revenge flicks, right? Where he's
Oh,
like,
yes.
I'm going to fucking hunt down everybody. That's like amazing.
I
And all it
wish
is in
we had more
essence
time.
is one man who wants to kill a bunch of other people, and it's just how about he goes that and that. This is just I don't get the I fucking love her so much. I'm literally going to hunt down and butcher every single person I've ever met that's involved with this. So that's why it gets. I will stay at the 3.75. Oh God, yeah. Because once you get into 3 territory, you're getting close to Interceptor, and that just had nothing at all. This at least has got a main actor that I like, and occasionally a death was, gave me a slight twinge, but it is still well below average.
Wow. I don't know. I'm not sure I agree. It's below average.
Mad.
There's I mean, like I say, the things that I think are wrong with it are the things I don't get to see, not the things that I did see. And there's a lot wrong with the kind of the world building part of it, because they kind of hint at these wider bits, but it's never explored, and they couldn't really explore it because they didn't have the time. But I still enjoyed what I saw. I think it's been you two haven't said anything about the way the film looks and the music. But I thought both of those
There's
things were on
nothing
point.
there to talk about.
No, I think those 2 bits were on point. The visual, the aesthetics, and the music I thought were on point. So I like the ambience of the film. I think Skarsgård was good. I don't really get that he wasn't good. I liked his growth in the film as well. So yeah, I'm gonna give this film. I still think it's above average. I'll go down by a half. So I'll get a 5.75. A 5.75. I still think it's I'd still recommend seeing it.
Oh man! Oh God! We've just lost all credibility. Dear Lord! Oh, MP.
I don't know. I mean, I know a 2 sounds low, but there was nothing in this movie outside of a 10-minute at the most section, and you have to wade through an hour and 20 minutes to get to that of just nothingness. The reason I don't talk about how the film looked, there was nothing visually. There was nothing. So I can't. Can I go higher than a 2? No, I'm going to stay at a 2. I'm going to hold my integrity.
Okay, so a 5.75, a 2, and a 3.75. What does that give us?
Lord, what a lot. I mean, are we really sure about we want to give these ratings out, boys? Are we
Hey, look,
really?
he's had two. If you're sure that this is a film you'd recommend, then MP's sure. Once again, I find myself in the middle. I'm the voice of reason. Imagine that.
What are you saying? Has a 3.75?
Yeah.
And you're saying MP, you're saying a 2.
I'm starting to think go about down to a 1. Just
two.
because.
I mean, you're literally saying like there couldn't be anything worse than this. Like you genuinely think this was as bad as Madam Web?
Like I said, at least Madam Web was so bad that I laughed at it. There was something there. This I felt nothing for it.
So what would be a 1? What would be a 1 for you then? What would be in a film that would be a 1?
God, I don't know. This is pretty close to it because there's nothing. Like Hatch said, you have a simple premise. It's a revenge movie. How hard is that to make a decent, even an average movie? You can go on Netflix right now and find something that someone recorded on their iPhone in a revenge category, and it would be at least a movie that moved along. This does nothing, and they got $50 million to make it. And I can't. There's just nothing here, man. I'm sorry.
I'm just like,
there you go. So what does that give us? Come on, people want to know. Arguments have been made. Ratings have been given.
I just can't believe what I'm hearing. I just can't believe it. Okay. Oh my god. Oh right. Sorry. Right. Let me input this into the Just Go Watch calculator. Oh god. A 3.66.
Still too high.
A 3.66.
I'm bang on. All right. So how do we think our ratings compare to the critics and the audience?
Have you seen Cats, MP?
No, I have not.
Right, I want you to watch Cats this week, and tell me what you give that film.
No, thanks.
No, yeah, because I believe your ratings are flawed. Yeah, I can't have it.
I think yours are flawed. Are you just happy to go to the movie theater? Were you with the missus? It was an empty movie theater, and some stuff happened. If that was the case, then I'll bring my review up.
Oh, good grief above. All right. So, what do I think? I reckon critics are gonna say it's pretty fucking poor. I reckon critics are gonna say like, I don't know, 51. No, I reckon critics might be brutal. 35%, and audience score maybe like 75.
75. All right.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm gonna go critics lower. I'll go 30 for critics. And God, audience is gonna be tough. Oh, it's gonna be tough. I'll go 58 for audience.
So the audience score was 66.
No way.
So that means that MP was closer.
Was it?
And the critics score was 20%.
20.
20.
Oh,
I actually agree with MP. So, so MP was actually right on both of those.
Deej, how many times did you go on Rotten Tomatoes and give this a good score to get this thing up to 60%?
Listen, man, one thing that I know is to be universally true is that most of the time we agree more with the people than we do with the critics. So
yeah, and then sometimes we fuck them both off.
That's right.
Well,
they should agree with us.
Sometimes you gotta be your own pod. Gotta be your own review.
I just God. Have you ever seen that Mariah Carey film called I think it's called like Jiggly or something like that? Yeah, watch that film, yeah, and then tell me. Do you know this is the problem with you two? Yeah, is that you've not watched any of these actually what films that would be a 1, and so you don't have any frame of reference. So you're calling things 1s and 2s that are not 1s and 2s.
Yeah, but I tried to give a 1. I tried to give a 1 to a 1 once.
Yeah.
And
So no. So I'm saying so until you have watched films that are 1s, your frame of reference is wrong. You watch Jiggly. Right, both of your homework this week is to watch Jiggly. You'll probably only get through 15 minutes of it. You'll have to turn it off. You'll come back next week and say, yeah, you know what? You're right. Because The Crow, as much as it was shit, was a million times better than this. Right. And you will understand what one is. But at the moment, you guys do not understand what one is because you've not watched them. But I've seen ones. Yeah. Ones are films that are so bad, that you literally just want to headbutt a bread knife. You're literally like, this is absolute, like there's not one redeeming feature. It's not like there's one good scene in it. There is nothing. This could have been done by a bloke with no eyes, no hands, right? No half a brain, just headbutting a keyboard onto a script, and then they went and made a film about it. Like that level of ineptness. And this was not that.
I just watched a movie just like that a couple of days ago.
This is what I'm saying. You guys don't know you guys don't know what it is. Listeners, I'm sorry. My co-host.
I'm sorry for Deej. I mean,
they don't get into it enough. My co-hosts have never really gotten into the mud. They're scared to get into the mud and to actually watch a dog shit film and to actually know what one is. And Hatch, I'm ashamed of you, Hatch.
Bravo.
Well, listen, that is about all we've got time for this week on the Just Go Watch pod.
I can feel Hatchie's missus like whipping him as we speak.
Listen, when you drone on for an hour and you're about to get a tirade back at you, then you've got to hit the brakes, and that's just my personal life. So, yeah. An hour's about right, I think. I think listeners.
That's too much. There was more passion in this episode than there was in that whole movie I just watched.
Yeah, too right. That's what you get. That's the Just Go Watch guarantee. Passion. Okay, well, listen, that is a 3.66, a very low weight rating for The Crow. Well deserved. Well, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram. Give us a comment on YouTube. Let us know what you thought if you went to see it. What was your rating? But of course, there's only one way that you are going to be able to know that, and that is,
I still say, just go watch.